Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's Weekend Roundup time. So it's no secret, guys. Game Pass has been one of the best deals in gaming. Okay, it's pretty much been the best deal in gaming for years now. It's got a big selection of games, and first-party games get released day and date on the service. It's made the Xbox consoles a more and more attractive option, and we're starting to see the latest gen Xbox Series X and S even surpass the PlayStation 5 in sales in some parts of the world. Okay, well, Europe, but that is definitely a part of the world. As a result, it's been clear that Sony needs to do something to compete with Game Pass, and finally this week, we saw what that was. So we're gonna look at that and see, will this be a legit threat to Game Pass? So here's what happened. First of all, Sony announced they're beefing up their PS Plus program into something very similar to their own version of Game Pass. Kind of. So this week, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said in a blog post that starting in June, they're going to combine PlayStation Plus and the streaming service PlayStation Now into a new subscription service. It's going to have 3 tiers. The first is PlayStation Plus Essential. That's basically what PlayStation Plus is right now. 2 monthly downloadable games, there's discounts, cloud storage, online multiplayer access. It's $10 a month US with a bit of a discount if you buy quarterly or yearly. Now, the second tier, PlayStation Plus Extra, has all of that, plus a catalog of up to 400 PS4 and PS5 games, which Sony says includes blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Those games are also downloadable for play, and it starts at $15 a month. Now, the top tier is PlayStation Plus Premium, which includes everything from the first 2 tiers, plus an additional 340 games. That includes PS3 games that you can cloud stream, plus a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. They said that the streaming can be carried out on PS4, PS5, and PC. Premium members will also receive time-limited trials of some games. That one will start at $18 a month US. So yeah, that's the premium one. That's the top tier. That's for the kid who had both the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, who had like the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. That's your top one. That's the one that costs all the money. Now, it's only available in some regions, talking about the premium version. It's only available in some regions that have access to cloud streaming. Regions that don't have streaming will get a different tier, Deluxe, which will remove the streaming games, aka the PS3 games, because you're still having problems emulating PS3 games on any other kind of hardware, so they stream those, but the Deluxe will be cheaper. In his post, Jim Ryan said that those new extra and premium tiers are, quote, a major evolution for PlayStation Plus, adding, with these tiers, our key focus is to ensure that the hundreds of games we offer will include the best quality content that sets us apart. Again, it starts in June, and some of the games that will be included, Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal. Also, when it launches, Sony said that PlayStation Now will no longer be available as a standalone service. If you're a PS Now player right now, you'll be migrated over to PlayStation Plus Premium with no increase to your current subscription fees at launch. They also said they're going to phase in this new program, writing that they'll begin with an initial launch in several markets in Asia, followed by North America, Europe, the rest of the world where PlayStation Plus is offered. They said their goal is to have most PlayStation Network territories live with the new subscription service by the end of the first half of this year. They also said they're going to expand the cloud streaming benefit to additional markets in the future. So there are a lot of similarities here to Game Pass, but there are some differences, mainly that Sony exclusives won't launch on this new service day and date the way they do in Game Pass. And Jim Ryan did address that, saying it does not make economic sense to add new first-party games directly to PlayStation Plus on day one. He told GamesIndustry.biz, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. He added, we feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock-on effect of the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers want. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that they didn't announce that they maybe add exclusives to the service, like say in a year. But again, maybe they're too worried about their new service biting into sales, which clearly is still very important to their economic model. Ryan also added that nothing in the new service is set in stone at this point, saying, "All I'm talking to today is the approach we're taking in the short term. The way our publishing model works right now, it doesn't make any sense talking about releasing day and date to the new service with new releases, but things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know." So there you go. Now, it's been reported for a while now that Sony's been working on its own version of Game Pass, and you'll remember with the launch of the PS5, they included a collection of PS4 games on it called the PlayStation Plus Collection. So they've clearly been feeling the pressure for a while now and working on their own response. No, but the big question is this enough to compete with Game Pass? Sony, it's still at a really strong position with the PS5. It's been popular out of the gate. Sony's got an impressive pipeline of exclusives coming down the gate. God of War Ragnarok, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and we've already seen some big name exclusives this year, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7. So Sony still has a strong lineup and they got a strong pipeline, but again, Microsoft has been absolutely gobbling up a ton of small studios, large studios, from Ninja Theory to Activision Blizzard, and their own pipeline of exclusive is much, much more extensive at this point. So while Sony won the last generation, this one is looking very different, and the Xbox and Microsoft are in a much stronger position than they've ever been before. That's why Sony had to create this service. They were basically forced to. They're not doing this out of the goodness of their own heart. This is trying to keep pace with Microsoft. Meanwhile, analysts pretty positive on this announcement, but some doubt if it will outshine Game Pass. Michael Goodman, director of TV and media strategies at Strategy Analytics, told GamesIndustry.biz that combining PS Plus and Now was long overdue, saying they have created an attractive product, giving consumers the choice of hundreds of games, and combining the multiplayer is important. Piers Harding Rolls, though, research director for games at Ampere Analysis, said he thinks it won't have the pull of Microsoft's service. As for new releases going onto the service day one, Goodman said, "We will have to see how important that is to PlayStation fans. There certainly is an argument to be made that it is not critical," but he added that Microsoft's big growth happened when they went day and date. It's worth noting that Sony's not competing head-to-head on this. They're mostly talking to their existing install base. And other analysts were saying basically that this is an attempt to get PS Plus players right now to pay a little bit more, to get them on those upper tiers. We'll see how fans respond to this. I saw one poll on VG247. It was pretty evenly divided between people who are interested in one of the three tiers and others who are like, no thanks, not interested. So we will see. All right, we'll get to the rest of the stories in just a second. But first, guys, I got a new podcast to tell you about, and it's one that I'm producing. It's called Ship Hits the Fan. I'm doing it with Charlotte and Patrick of Funhouse, so the gang is back together again. Let me ask you, do you like shipwrecks, disasters at sea like the Titanic, or that time Dave Matthews Band's tour bus dumped a bunch of feces into the Chicago River and onto a bunch of tourists? That was pretty awesome. Well, if you like stuff like that and everything in between, Ship Hits the Fan. We deal with all of it. We talk about everything. We aren't nautical experts by any stretch of the imagination, but we're obsessed with ship disasters, and if you check it out, I think you will be too. So do me a favor, check out Ship Hits the Fan wherever you get your podcasts, or you can go to bit.ly/ShipHitsTheFan to subscribe, or click the link in the description, and I would appreciate it very much. And if you like it, tell a friend. We're just launching it. We're trying to get some word of mouth going. So check it out. Tell me what you think, and if you like it, tell a friend or two. All right, on to the rest of the stories. Activision Blizzard has settled a sexual harassment suit with the federal government. U.S. District Judge Dale Fisher approved their $18 million settlement with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. A court filing stated, "The court is generally satisfied that both the monetary relief and the non-monetary provisions are fair, reasonable, and adequate." And in a statement to the Washington Post, Activision Blizzard said, "We are pleased that the court recognizes our agreement with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is fair, adequate, and in the public interest." They added, "Our goal has always been to provide immediate and meaningful compensation to eligible employees who choose to participate and to continue workplace improvements that make Activision Blizzard a model for our industry." That is some corporate speak, baby. Now, of course, this is one of multiple suits Activision Blizzard has faced. This is the federal one they settled. You might remember last July when California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing sued Activision Blizzard, accusing them of having a frat boy workplace culture. That sparked this whole, that blew it wide open. That suit from California is still ongoing with a trial date set for February 2023. Some have said, though, that this settlement is actually a win for Activision Blizzard. Number one, it was $18 million and their revenues were $8.8 billion last year. So you do the math on that. P. Andrew Torres, who owns a law firm and hosts the Opening Arguments podcast, said the ruling is a clear win for Activision Blizzard because, quote, they lose a small amount and they are effectively undercutting the state law proceedings where the state agency was far more aggressive. He's talking about the California lawsuit there. Don't worry though, new lawsuits keep popping up all the time against Activision Blizzard with even more disturbing allegations. One was filed by the entertainment lawyer Lisa Bloom on behalf of a plaintiff known as Jane Doe, alleges that she was subject to sexual harassment and discrimination while working at Activision Blizzard, and the family of an employee who died by suicide is also suing Activision Blizzard, alleging that sexual harassment played a role in her death. The family of Carrie Moynihan, a 32-year-old finance manager at Activision Blizzard, claimed that a supervisor of hers lied to detectives about his relationship with her in the wake of her suicide. She was found dead at a company retreat in 2017. Moynihan was referenced in the California suit, although not by name, which alleged that at the holiday party before her death, male coworkers passed around a picture of her genitals and referenced a male supervisor who allegedly brought sex toys with him on the business trip. Really class organization they've got over there. So yeah. Moving on, Nintendo announced this week that it's delaying Breath of the Wild 2 from this year, that was when it was supposed to come out, until spring of 2023. That has put a big dent in their stock. It dropped nearly 6% after the announcement. Now that drop comes after what was a pretty good 2022 for Nintendo so far. As of this week, its stock was up 25% year to date before the big announcement and the drop. It was helped by good reception to Pokemon Legends Arceus. But even without Breath of the Wild 2, since it's been delayed, Nintendo has a pretty strong 2022 lineup. Splatoon 3 is due out this summer, as well as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Bayonetta 3 still has a release of sometime this year too. Analyst Serkan Toto told Reuters if there's a year Nintendo can afford to push Zelda out of, it's this year. He added the fiscal year hasn't even started yet, and they have spread out all of these potential blockbuster titles. We got another big donation to Ukraine, and this time it's the big guns, Epic Games and Fortnite. Now, if you play Fortnite, you know they recently had a new season, the Resistance update, and Epic said they donate all proceeds from the first 2 weeks of the season to Ukrainian refugees. Well, this week on Twitter, they announced they've raised $100 million that they're going to give to various organizations like UNICEF, World Food Program, and Direct Relief. It's almost certainly more at this point. Now, we've seen other groups have impressive fundraising totals for Ukraine too. Humble Bundle Ukraine package raised more than 20 million. Itch.io also did a bundle that raised 6 million, but man, Epic clearly in a league of its own. That's awesome. Speaking of Ukraine, the ongoing war has prompted a number of sanctions after Russia's invasion. Well, now the Russian developer of Loop Hero is telling players to just go on and pirate their game if sanctions are preventing them from purchasing the game legally. The sanctions have made it pretty hard for Russian gamers to buy games online right now, and when developer Four Quarters was asked how to buy Loop Hero and support the devs, they encouraged players to, quote, raise the pirate flag and torrent it. The developer told Kotaku that, quote, first of all, the war and sanctions hit us morally very hard because we do not support the war. On February 24th, we could not believe that this whole nightmare had begun. They also denounced the war against Ukraine in a Twitter post that could actually land them in legal jeopardy in Russia, where even referring to it as a war is now considered a felony with a long prison term. Some gamers in Russia asked how they could support Four Quarters during this time, to which they responded, "We are very grateful for your support, but the truth is that everything is fine with us. Send the support to your family and friends at this difficult time." All right, time for a 5-second review. I actually didn't play this game, but I know somebody who did. Hey, Ben.
This game's about Kirby. Hey, Brian, did I beat you in Smash with him?
No.
Yes, I did.
All right, fine. He can beat me. I'm not happy about it. Let's talk about the games coming out next week. First up, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Play through all 9 Star Wars saga films in a brand new Lego video game unlike any other. Experience fun-filled adventures, whimsical humor, and the freedom to fully immerse yourself in the Lego Star Wars galaxy. Comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch April 5th. Slipstream is a racing game inspired by the visuals, music, games, and cars from the late 80s and early 90s. It's built on a custom game engine with an authentic retro feel and unique graphics. The soundtrack, drawn from synth pop and jazz fusion influences, sets the tone for a race across a variety of exotic locations from all around the world, including cities, deserts, forests, mountains, and beaches. Drifting and slipstreaming mechanics add depth to the driving gameplay, and the result is a challenging and exciting experience. Comes to PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch April 7th. And last, Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition. Oh, sweet. Chrono Cross is an RPG that transcends time and space, unfolding across 2 interlinked parallel worlds. With over 40 party members to meet, people and dimensions will intertwine in this epic drama about the planet itself. The 3D models have been upgraded to HD, new illustrations have been added, and all kinds of new features are now included. Comes to Switch April 7th. That's all the news I got for you this week, guys. I hope you're having a great weekend. We'll see you soon.